on ordinary combustible substances. Okay, your cloth, your cartoons, wood. These are the ordinary combustible substances. If there is a fire, to such substances, so what we are doing? We are pouring water. So we are pouring water. We are pouring water means what we are doing, what we are doing? We are removing the heat, because whatever water you are applying, that water will absorb the heat and it will keep the temperature of fire below ignition point of that substance and fire will be out. So that method is termed as a cooling. Then next, sometimes it is not possible, smothering. So cutting away supply of oxygen of the burning fuel or reducing the percentage of oxygen. So we will see the example. Cooling, whenever there is a fire in a godown to a furniture or your stationaries, okay, old stationaries, then we are putting lot of water, and due to the absorption of heat by water, fire will be out. That method is termed as a cooling. Then starvation, removal of fuel from burning substances. So there is a fire in a big godown. Fire started at a one corner. You don't have water. So what you will do? Either you remove that burning material outside the godown, or you take unburned material out from this burning material. Or there is another method. You can keep a gap in between burning material and unburned material. So that method is also termed as a starvation. Now smothering. Suppose there is a fire to a wearing cloth. What you will do? Suppose there is a fire to a wearing cloth. What you will do? What will be your action? Why blanket? Why you are not pouring water? Why you are not pouring water? If anybody knows, then kindly. Why we are not using water on this wearing apparels? It is for your knowledge. कोण सांगते? कुणाला माहिती आहे बोला? हाँ, कदाचित नाही. So let us study this well, because though we have MSc, PhD, BE, these basic things we ignore. Okay, what happens? Now do a practical. Keep a water to boil. Keep a water in a pot to boil. Then when it boils now, you have to put the thermometer inside. What will be the temperature at that time? 100. Now again start boiling. After 10 minutes the level will goes down. What will be the temperature? What will be the temperature? If you see 100. Again if it goes to the low level, if you check the temperature, what would be the temperature? 100. Then a fuel, we have used fuel. Then what about that heat? Heat energy goes, where it goes? Steam, that's all. Very good. So this heat goes to the steam. That means your steam is having more temperature than your direct flame. If you keep your hand in a flame, no doubt there will be a fire, but that burn will be a superficial. And if you keep your hand or these fingers in steam, then there will be a second degree burn. Why? Understood? So whenever there is a fire to a wearing apparel, then please don't apply water. What would happen? Due to this flame, water will absorb this heat and turn into steam, and steam temperature very high, and that steam will result a second degree burn. So first degree burn means superficial. Second degree burn means your skin, okay, muscles, all these things. Third degree burn means bone. Okay. So now let extinguishing methods. So either you reduce the temperature, remove fuel, exclude oxygen, inhibiting chain reaction. So this is the some scientific part, deep study. So in olden days till now, we were saying that only 3 things are required to start a fire. And if we remove one of it, then there will be no fire. But now, in case of your combustible gases, combustible liquids, there is a 4th factor, that is a chemical chain reaction. So 4th part is that, and there is a fire tetrahedron. So after fire triangle, if we notice that even though we are removing one of it, then fire is no extinguished. Then we come to know that there is a 4th element of fire in case of a combustible gases. That is a, what is that? Uninhibited chemical chain reaction. Okay. So now I say that already I discussed with you that each and every fire is not tackled with a particular media or with use of water. That is why fire is categorized into a 4 classes, initially 5 classes, and this is as per our Indian standard 2190-1979. Now I say that A means ordinary combustible solids, not each and every. Now how to remember this? How to remember this? How to remember A, B, C? Let us see. Take a ice in a pan and observe the state of matter. So whenever you observe initially that state of, which state of matter is that? Ice, solid. So after some time in our Mumbai, 36, 37, 40 degree temperature, that ice will melt and it goes to the liquid state. So after some time, that liquid also goes up. That means, what is third one? First one solid, then liquid, then gases. So how to remember? A is solid, B is liquid, C is gas. In a simple, okay. So ordinary combustible paper, wood, cloth. Now stop for a while discussing these 4 or 5 types of fire, because there are some exceptions in this. A, I say ordinary combustible solid, not each and every solid. Not each and every solid. Means, now first exception will be the solid substances, the burning solid substances which on heating gets melted. A burning solid substance which on heating gets melted is the exception for this class A, because it goes to the liquid stage. So that will be the in B stage. Let us say liquefiable solids. For example, wax, coal tar, asphalt, damper, main. Okay. So if you, these are in solid state initially, but when you are heating, then it will turn to the liquid stage. That is why it is not coming in this class. And second very good exception you have to remember, because if you remember these two now, then it will be very easy to understand these classes. So second exception is the solid substances which, the solid burning substances which on application of water, the intensity of fire will be increased, not decreasing. Okay. So some combustible metals, or what we say light metals, sodium, potassium, magnesium, uranium, thorium, like radioactive metals. When these metals are burning, no, then they are burning at very high temperature, above 1600 degrees centigrade temperature, and water is having bad property. At about 1650 degrees centigrade, water will dissociate into its basic elements. What is the MF, molecular formula of water? H2O. That means water is formed from hydrogen and oxygen. Now let us come to the point. If there is a hydrogen, there is a oxygen. Hydrogen is a flammable gas. Oxygen is the supporter of fire. Then you should not use water on these metals, even though they are solid. Understood? Or want to translate in Hindi, Marathi, understood? So that is a class G. So we have kept that exception of, second exception of class A into D. Now let us come to the, now what is the main method used to extinguish this fire? Can anybody? There are three methods. So what will be the main method? If there is a fire to a paper, wood, cloth, then what method we will use? No, main method. I am asking about main method. We will pour water. Cooling. Cooling is the main method. I am asking main. You can use this starvation, smothering as well. But main method. जब भी लकड़े को अंगार रहता है, पेपर को अंगार रहता है, सीधा हम लोग पानी डालते हैं, तो कूलिंग मेथड ही यूज कर रहे हैं. ओके. Now let us come to the B. I have already said that A is solid, B is liquid. Combustible or flammable liquids, and our first exception in A class, that is liquefiable solids, asphalt, moam, wax, okay, oils, paints, chemicals, wax, etc. Now think for a while and tell me what type of extinguish method you will use, you will recommend. Oil. If oil catches fire, then which method you will recommend? Very good. Why not cooling? You should know this. Suppose you are preparing some fried, this chapati, not fried, your puris, okay, puris, and there is a lot of oil in your pan, and if that pan, that oil catches fire, will you apply water? No. No, but why? Why it spread? Yeah, then why? Very good, ma'am. Very, very good. Excellent. Because what happens now? Water is a denser than oil. Okay? Oil is a lighter. Water is a heavier. Water, when you pour in that fire, being heavier, goes to the bottom. And water is having another bad property. Expansion ratio of water into steam is 1700 times. If you pour 1 liter, you will get 1700 liters steam. So it requires that much volume. So to accommodate that volume, the lighter oil will be out. Okay? And if you are using water, then there will be no extinguishment of fire. There will be a problem. Intensity of fire will be increased, and there are chances that you get burned. Okay? Now, main method is smothering. So what is the method? You use DCP extinguisher, dry chemical powder extinguisher, or you can use foam. What is foam? Jhag, feni, Marathi face. Okay? So this foam is a lighter than the lightest oils. It will float on that oil. And if you apply dry powder or foam, now fire, try to understand, fire is not inside the oil. Why? Fire is not inside the oil and only on the surface. Can anybody? Very good. Due to lack of oxygen. Because after heating this oil, vapors will be there. Okay? So on surface, there is a oxygen, there is a heat, and there are fuel vapors. So triangle completes on the surface. So there will be fire on surface. But though oil gets heated, inside there is no any oxygen. That is why there is no any fire inside the oil. Okay? Now, next one, very important, combustible gases. Methane, ethane, propane, butane, 8th standard, 8th standard. I am not talking about your science, fire engineering science. In 8th standard or 7th or 6th standard, we have already learned this. What is this alkane family? Methane, ethane, propane, butane, these are the gases. Okay, these are the flammable gases. Then your hydrogen, carbon monoxide, hydrogen chloride gas, natural gas, all this flammable gas comes under this category C. Now let us see LPG, acetylene, hydrogen, methane, natural gas. Natural gas, three forms: PNG, LNG, CNG. What is this PNG, LNG, CNG? Piped natural gas, compressed natural gas, liquefied natural gas. Okay. So what is the main method used to extinguish class C fire? Can anybody think for a while? What is the main method used? Only method advisable. Very good. How? How? Yeah, whenever there is a fire in our fire to our domestic cylinder, cigarette or pipe, then we are simply switching off the regulator. Switching off the regulator means you are cutting the supply of fuel. Okay. So let us go towards E. Now these are the, now as per this IS 2190 only 4 classes are there, but in ancient days there was a class E. E stands for electricity, electrical fire. But it come to know that whenever we are switching off the main, then you can use water as well or any extinguishing media. Now in a transformer you see that there is a oil. So if there is a fire to the transformer, if you switch off the main, if you are cutting the supply, electric supply, then you can use dry chemical powder if there is oil, foam. But if supply is not cut out, then you should wait for a while. So if you are switching off the supply, then you can use extinguishing media as per material involved. Okay. Now let's go to the next slide. Now common causes of fire and preventive measures. First one, electrical. One already we have gone through this, overloading. Okay. Using adapter, drawing more than 5 ampere or rated current. Loose connection. We give a lot of time to Facebook and WhatsApp, but we don't get time to insert this pin inside. So loose connection. Then we use damaged insulation, misuse of electric rooms. Okay. So whenever we inspect high-rise buildings, we directly goes first to meter cabin, because this meter cabin, people are using this meter cabin for keeping this scrap material only. They don't know what would happen, because all these meters are there and consumer is using electrical power. If there is a overload, then there will be electrical spark, and due to this spark, so we used to keep this electrical meter cabin for scrap materials, cartons, planks, wooden planks. Okay. So then fire starts, misuse of electrical material, and what he is doing, he don't know, he is using kerosene stove here. Okay. एक घर बनाऊंगा, घर बनाया. Okay. Next, एज वायरिंग एंड इंस्टॉलेशंस. चलता है, जब तक कट नहीं होता है तब तक चलाएंगे. उससे क्या होता है मालूम है? एक तो अंगार तो लगेगी ही, और आपका 400 का बिल 1000 रुपये होगा. मालूम है किसी को? देखो आज ही जाके देखो, ट्राई. इफ यू आर यूजिंग दिस एज वायरिंग, then there will be a power loss. So when you are making a new, then there will be a 50% lesser electrical bill. Okay. Then unattended electrical appliances. Okay. So watching TV and ironing, so some happens, even watching this Facebook, WhatsApp. So due to unattended electrical appliances, fire is there. Next, let us go to the careless smoking. Homes, smoking in bed. Most of the people used to do this, smoking in bed. So after some time, what would happen? We'll fall asleep and fire will start, smoking in bed. So last year only in Malad, we have removed one person, dead person,